Sanbonani, and welcome to Forever and Always. I'm your host, Michelle Lima, and thank you so much for joining us. So building a brand and actually building a marriage at the same time is work on its own. And contrary to popular belief, trying to do all of that in the public eye is interesting. But I solemnly believe that when you have the right voices around you, you actually stand to become a beacon of hope and possibilities to a lot of people. I am joined by Sianda Zenga, who is an influencer, a businesswoman, and a wife. And today we're just going to talk a little bit more about her journey. Sianda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much for joining me. So you do all these things, and I don't know if I actually did justice in introducing you. Tell us who Sianda is.
No, you did. Sianda, I'm from the Eastern Cape. I'm from East London. I grew up there. I went to school, university in PE, and then I moved to Cape Town. I worked in the media space. I've always worked in the media space. I worked in magazines, I worked in marketing until I started my own consulting agency for digital marketing, where I'm a strategist. And yes, I'm an influencer and a wife. Yes.
Awesome. So congratulations on your wife journey. We're so excited to actually see that unfold. I'd like you to just take us through the dating phase, you know, between you and your husband. What was that like for you? What was the journey like?
So the journey was actually quite interesting. So my husband and I actually met randomly in a bus. So he had moved to Cape Town and he decided to take my city bus just to see the city, literally. And I was going meeting friends, so I just didn't want to drive. And then that's how he literally came to sit next to me. And then I just thought, okay, this is a bit weird. And he is not on social media. So he used to send me messages via LinkedIn.
Wow. What a professional man.
So he used to send me messages via LinkedIn, and then we sort of started talking. Literally, we only went on our first date like 3 years later. And then it kind of started from there. We started getting to know each other on a more personal level, other than just online. And then we dated for over 2 years, and then we got married. So the first phase of our relationship, we were in a long distance relationship, because I eventually moved from Cape Town while he was moving into Cape Town. I moved to Joburg. So we used to see each other whenever we can. And then and then we got married.
So 2 years later he proposed.
Yes, so it was he did it like the traditional way. So he sent a letter first. So it was just a matter of when is the proposal gonna come, if it's gonna come, like, is it gonna happen anytime? So eventually it did, and we did it in Cape Town, which was quite nice, because it's where it all started. And yeah, it's been really great.
Cool. So within the dating phase, the 2 years, were you expecting marriage in the relationship?
I was, because I had, for once in my life, felt like I've met my companion, like the one person that I'm really compatible with. And I think I went through a phase of not dating at all, like at all. And I was just trying to figure out, like, what do I want? What kind of person do I want to be within the relationship context? Because it's easy to say, this is the kind of husband that I want. But I was trying to just take time to focus on, what do I bring to the table? What kind of wholesome marriage do I want? Like, what do I picture my future looking like? And I met somebody who had the same idea as me. So it literally came from that, like when we spoke. Actually, after I moved to Cape Town, I had asked a friend of mine to keep my books, and then the friend was leaving, so I asked him to go fetch my books and just keep them for me for a bit. But because he has no sense of privacy, he read my journal.
Oh my god.
And then he literally was like, you were praying for me. Oh, wow. I was like, I mean, I feel a bit invaded, but you have a point. So and then we started talking about it. Like, it started like a very good conversation between the two of us in terms of our expectations. Where do we see our relationship going? What we would like out of it? And yeah.
You mentioned a very powerful gem, that when you took some time off and you were not dating, and one of the most important things that you were doing during that phase was trying to figure out who you want to be in that marriage. And I think that says so much about you as a person, and also about the relationship that you're now cultivating, because you don't just walk into it because of the desire to, but yes, there's a desire, but there's an image and there's a picture,
and there's an expectation on your end as well. It's all good and well to want Prince Charming, but are you Princess Charming? You know, because he also has his own expectations. Like it's like in any friendship, you know, you have to be a good friend to want to expect good friends, or to expect goodness from other people. You also have to give it. So it was quite an interesting time. And I mean, there's a lot of societal pressures. People always asking you, why aren't you in a relationship? You know, and it's sometimes difficult for other people to grasp, because you're not saying I'm trying to find myself. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's just that you want to be so sure that you as a person are whole, and you know exactly what you expect, and you know exactly what needs refining, what needs growth, what needs developing on your end as well, so that even if somebody brings it up, you don't feel attacked. You know exactly your weaknesses, your points that still need some, you know, development.
Enter with self-awareness.
That's exactly.
Literally enter with self-awareness, and I think that's completely important. Now you get engaged, and you're super excited. I mean, the buzz. Tell me a little bit more about that.
That was quite an interesting part of the journey, because then other people get involved, you know, like your family, your friends. I think for me, the most exciting part of being engaged is just the families coming together. That was really amazing. I mean, his family lives here in Johannesburg, and mine from the Eastern Cape. Literally after the whole thing, we set up a lunch for everyone, and my family flew in because I live here, and it made it feel real. Because now you realize that this union is not just about you, it's a meeting of other people as well, and just like coming together and new relationships being born. So that was quite exciting. Like, I love being engaged. It's nice because it's like a build-up to something.
There's an expectation.
Yes, it's so exciting, and just saying this is my fiance. That's nice.
You're like, oh, fiance the whole time.
Such a fancy word.
I know, very fancy. You want to be a fiance for the rest of your life, literally. And I think, like I'm saying, it builds that excitement because you guys are going to get married. Yes. So there's something to look forward to. Yes. The suspense is beautiful. Within that suspense, so what I found when I got engaged, for me, it took a while to kick in. Really? Yeah, like initially I was just like, okay, I am engaged. And, you know, and people are like, congratulations. You're like, okay, this is a real thing. And then the excitement kicks in. What were the things that you felt like you needed to kind of prepare within that engagement phase before you got into marriage?
I think the biggest thing is the idea of living with someone else that you need to prepare for, and kind of like, how do they do things? Because we're obviously brought up differently in different households, and there are certain things that you expect, that he expects from you, and just kind of like working out that dynamic. So that was one thing, and also just finding a way to not take each other for granted, because once you live with a person, it's easy for you to keep making other plans with other people, to meet up, to accept business meetings that are on weekends or whatever, and neglect the fact that you need quality time. The fact that this person lives with you now that you're married doesn't mean that you are spending quality time, you know, because you sometimes come home, you're so tired, you just want to eat and sleep. So that was quite something. It was a learning for the two of us to just be intentional about how we spread ourselves, especially between work, between family, and the two of us. And to not think just because now we're in the car together driving to see your mom, that this is our quality time. We still need our quality time.
Sure.
We are.
What I'm really getting a lot from what you're saying, it had to do more with when you were single and you took some time and really kind of thinking about what it is that you want to build, because I know there's a lot of people that enter into marriages and don't really consider the practicality of living with someone, because you think we're in love, we're gonna have strawberries every morning, right? So we're gonna sleep in, it's gonna be amazing. You think it's that you romanticize everything about the living in, and you don't realize that there's a human being that leaves socks everywhere.
And also they get sick and they get in a bad mood sometimes. They're not as jolly and happy as you are or as you'd like them to be. So it's quite an adjustment when you look at it realistically, and also how much you have in common, because I don't like sports. Do you know what I mean? Because now I was sitting in the lounge, I'm like, I could watch something else. But there's a big game. You know, there are certain things that you kind of have to adjust to. And that's just the small parts. There's also like, my husband is very close with his family. Very, very close. He has to see his dad twice a week. So it's like you have to find a way to plug in, and also for you to enjoy it as well, and for him to see you enjoying being part of his family. It's also something very important. Instead of thinking, okay, you go see your dad, I'm gonna go do my own thing. So it's a union. It's a real union.
How are you seeing yourself evolving, I think now, into coming into wifehood? What side of Sia are you seeing?
Seeing a side, you can't be all about you. You know, as a modern woman, I think we aspire to being these dynamic people that can just do certain things. We chase our goals, we chase our dreams, you know, and a person has to fit into your dream. If I wake up tomorrow and I think I want a job in London, I can't do that without considering where he's at. Like, how can we merge our dreams? And it's not to say you have to let go of certain things, but it's just to find a good balance. And I remember I used to hear or watch a lot of people talking about balance. I'm just like, surely it's not that deep, like, honestly. Surely it's not that deep, but it is. Like, it's such a serious thing, having to collaborate as well. Saying, okay, cool, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm trying to achieve in the next 5 years or in the next 12 months. Where are you at? How are you gonna help me do that? How can I help you? So there's a lot of giving. It requires generosity in the sense of your time, your attention, resources, brain capacity or labor. It's all in there, and that's the least glamorous part of it. But I found that it's so easy because we both want the same thing for each other. So I want to see you shine, I want to see you flourish, I want to see you prospering, and he wants the same thing for me. Yes. So in my household there are meetings. There are meetings every second Friday.
Oh wow.
And the meeting has to not happen in the house.
Do you get an invitation to LinkedIn?
Yeah. Well, I mean, through email. It's through email. There's like an agenda.
Oh wow.
Because it's so easy to just be like, how's your day? And then you just whisk through things. So now it's like, where are you with what you said 6 months ago? What you said you were going to do? You said you were going to push this thing. It's a meeting. We sit on a table, and we go over the things, and we keep each other accountable for things that we said we wanted to do. And it doesn't just involve work. It literally involves our siblings. You said you wanted to spend more time. I have a sister, she's a teenager. Sometimes we don't get along very well. So it's like, are you still pursuing that relationship? How far is it going? What have you done? Like, how is she? You know, you catch up on those kind of things. Because for me, marriage is having a witness to your life. it's having somebody who's so interested in seeing how it all unfolds that they want to be there every single step of it. So it's part of it. It's part of witnessing how you do relationships with other people, you know, how you can make them better, because it makes this one better.
So you're saying Sia the nurturer and Sia the accountability partner. Those are another different aspects of you, your womanhood coming out. Yeah. That you possibly knew you had, but now the practicality.
Yeah, the practicality of it, like it's actually insane. And it started even during dating. I remember, because my husband is an accountant, he said, "Can I see your credit record?" I was like, what? Wow. This escalated very quickly. So it's like, no, I want to see how you handle money. Sure. With whether it's little or it's a lot, I need to know, and how you can grow, how we can make it better, how I can help you, how I can educate you in terms of handling finances. So that was also like something that it was like a good growth point for me, because I think when you're single, you're just doing things for yourself. True. You're just doing things for yourself, and you do whatever seems fit at the time. But then you get somebody who challenges that, who says, okay, but in 6 months' time, how about, you know what I mean? So yeah, so
it's groomed you, and I think you're growing in it.
Yeah, no, quite. Yeah, no, quite well, quite lovingly. It's a good space to grow. I certain elements of it I didn't really expect. You know, like obviously people always say you need to marry your best friend, but the thing is, I don't live with my best friend. Right? She is my girl. We go out for coffee dates. We do fun things, nails together. We talk on the phone. But this is like intimate form of friendship. So yeah, I've enjoyed that part of it, of just having somebody truly witness it so closely, how your life unfolds.
And still allows you to be yourself.
Yes, completely, like completely. I don't think there's anything better than the feeling of knowing that there's somebody who's really rooting for you, who wants to see you become the best person that you can ever be. That's amazing.
Sure. And I think it takes a very powerful man to be able to handle a woman like Sianda, you know, because you're in the public eye so much.
Yes, like, and he's very shy, hey? Like, he's exceptional, he's quite a nerd, but I think he's also a very intelligent person who kind of respects the work that I do, whichever way it goes. So if it's the popular Instagram person, he supports that, even if he's in the background. But I mean, the whole thing about digital or social media is new. So it's taken him learning as well. Because initially he was like, you're always on your phone. What are you doing? You're always on your phone. And it's taken him some getting used to that. It's work, it generates income. It's I have to go to events, and he supports it. But it wasn't like, he didn't get it the first time, because it's just, like the general idea is that you're just a socialite. Yes. You're just like this person who's just all over all the time. But it's taken like a bit of teaching or educating, but now he gets it, like fully gets it.
Exciting, I'm excited. So we're gonna go for a short break, and after the break we're going to be talking more about the expectation versus the actual reality, to actually find out what gems is Sia actually learning within her marriage, and then she's gonna share more about her journey. Don't forget, you can still engage with us on all of our social media platforms, and also don't forget to use the hashtag #ForeverAndAlwaysAfrica. I'll see you in a bit.